You live in a place of peace and harmony called the Magic Kingdom. The Magic Kingdom consists of 7 worlds: the Enchanted Forest, mountain, swamps, cursed cliffs, and the palace of the evil wizard Necroman. From the dawn of time, the peace within the 7 worlds of the kingdom was controlled by a line of very good and very powerful magicians. It was one of these magicians who was chosen to inherit the power of his ancestors and thus became the guardian of the strange book of sorcery, which enabled him to hold absolute power in his hands. Alas, the peace of the kingdom was not to last, as in the shadows, dark forces under the control of Necroman stole the book of sorcery and kidnapped the guardian magician. The kingdom fell under the control of the evil Necroman, and from that day forward, green devils, wicked genies, and other demons have haunted the once beautiful and peaceful kingdom. This is Incantation from Titus Software, released in 1996, very late in ye olde Super Nintendo times. Titus, no stranger to games. They started making games back in 1986 and didn't stop till 2017. They were still doing PlayStation 2 games really towards the end of their lifespan in the mid to late 2000s. Did some RoboCop games, did some Top Gun games. I see a Hands of Time game. I see some Worms games. Blues Brothers 2000 for the N64, Superman for the Game Boy, Prince of Persia games, Power Pigs of the Dark Ages, Wild Guns they were involved with in Europe, Oscar, we looked at Oscar not too long ago, which is kind of weird but pretty good. They were involved with Ninja Warriors in Europe. Titus did a lot of stuff, man. They even had their own, what you call it? The thing. Titus the Fox was kind of the brand's thing. You know the thing. I can't think of the thing. Anyway, this is a kind of rare game. It was mostly targeted towards young children, released in late 96, near the end of the lifetime of the Super NES, and is only available on the Super NES. We control a young wizard who has to complete several levels. Enemies are defeated by using different range spells that can be found throughout the levels with different firing patterns and power. Some levels require players to pick up a certain amount of items, while others have a boss battle. In a brief review for GamePro, Captain Squidio remarked, "The traps are basic, the bosses big, slow lugs. The one-button control is too reminiscent of 8-bit games. The sound effects and weak music add little, and the graphics are cartoony." He gave it a 2.5 out of 5 for graphics, 1.5 for sound, and 2 for control and fun factor. Maniac gave it a 62 out of 100. In this instance, I'm actually going to defer away from the reviewers, and I'm going to say this game, even though it is kind of cartoony and kind of little kidsy, is really not too bad. There's a weird like warp thing going on that is obnoxious, but I think it looks good. I think it plays pretty well. I think the music was all right. I mean, there are worse things to say about a game like this that's targeted for children, other than it's too cartoony. You know what I mean? We've played some cartoony games, but like Radical Rex, that's pretty cartoony. But I think this is actually pretty darn good. I'd probably put it up there with Mr. Nuts in terms of you don't think this is going to be quite as enjoyable as it is, but it ends up being pretty good. Now, this is not an 8 out of 10 for sure, but I'd give it better than a 6 out of 10. It's probably a 7.5.